and welcome to Ask Me About K-Pop, the essential guide for recent converts and seasoned fans alike. My name is Shannon.
And I'm Angelica.
And it's finally time to really put a bow on this year and get to our end of year specials that are tradition.
Yes, our end of the year tradition, which is so fun every time. Stressful.
Yes.
And wrought with disaster, wrought with grief. But a good time nonetheless. And we always like to kick off every end of the year celebration extravaganza with an honorary mentions, right? We doesn't make it into the final AMAK awards because these are not the title songs.
Right.
These are the best of the B-sides.
Yeah. The tracks you got to go looking for. You got to listen to the whole album to find these things. These gems, exactly. They're always gems. And personally, I often find myself liking B-sides more than the title tracks when I do buy an album. And sometimes, maybe I won't like the title track at all, but I'll try to listen to the album anyway just to see if there's a little hidden gem. Yeah, for sure. And last year, I feel like in the first year we picked like a B-side or maybe two because it was part of awards. And then last year we were like, that's not enough. I liked too many B-sides. So then we each picked 5 and that was horrible. And then this year we were like, how about 7? And then we both made lists of like 15. And then we were like, okay, 10? So 10. We're doing 10 each.
Yes, and next year we'll do perhaps 30. It will continue to grow exponentially. But yeah, no, this year, in no particular order, I should say, it was already difficult enough to pare it down to 10. I could not possibly rank them according to favorites. So this is just 10 B-sides we loved in no particular order for a full total of 20.
Yeah. I think mine are they're not quite in chronological order, but they're mostly, that's how they're listed. Cause I picked, we'll see, but a bunch of, like half of mine are first quarter songs because I got so hooked to songs like immediately that was never going to change. So you got to put your music out early if you want me to like really love you.
Yeah, that is a lot of mine initially from my like larger list were probably earlier in the year because then I think about like the songs, okay, well, what have I listened the most to over the year, right? What are the songs that like make me think of this year? And obviously those are going to be ones that come out for me in like March, April, May, like maybe June. That kind of like chunk of the year is where most of the songs that like I really love come out. But I did go through, to make this, I went through all of our quarterly reports and wrote down like, okay, these are the albums that I paid attention to. So then of those songs, what are the B-sides I like? Okay, of those B-sides, what can I pick? So it was a process, but I tried to be thorough. And there are some fourth quarter releases on mine.
All right. Well, let's get into it. Would you like to kick us off and go first?
Yes, because my first one, again, in no particular order, but my first one was initially on both of our lists.
Yes, it was.
First B-side that can't live without, Gravity, Ooh Ah.
Talk to me. 주저없이 ooh, 날 깨워내는 girl, don't stop it.
Make me say ooh ah. This was off of Gravity's debut album, right? We've talked about Gravity a couple of times. I don't off the top of my head remember the title because I think it was really long.
I think it's the second album because the first album is now my phone's plugged in. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up because I think it was on the second one that had Flame because
it is on the one. Yes, it's the B-side of Flame, and it's one of those long colon titles.
Yes. Oh, right. It was very, very long. Anyway, it was from September. It's fine. We said it at one point.
Yeah, and I think we've recommended this song. Like, we've talked specifically about this song before as well because it's such a bop. It's like, it's fun in that Love Me Right kind of way.
Yes.
And I felt like it immediately fit into the Forced Joy playlist that we have on our podcast, Spotify. And I just love it. It's so much fun. It's like one of those instant mood lifters.
It is such a mood lifter, and I think we called it out specifically. I don't remember if I cut it out or not because we were singing loud. Maybe it went at the end. But I love like just the pure drama of that stay. Yes! Like, oh my God. Yes. It's so fun. It's so fun.
I agree. It's just like it has Love Me Right and NCT Touch in that same way. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that thing that I can't.
Whatever it is.
Yes. You can't see my gestures, listeners, but I'm gesturing to describe this undescribable thing. Anyway, it's a great song. Check it out.
I love that. Yeah, okay, so the first one on my list is from Luna's album that came out in February that was called Hash. And this song is called Oh, parentheses, Yes I Am. And this is a song that caught my attention immediately. So What, the title track, you know, we said it was like girls stomping all over the world. It's kind of yelly. It's like, you know, that big energy. Mm-hmm. Big energy. But this song immediately like caught my attention the first time I heard it because it's just very subtle, and it kind of reminds me of things that came out on like in the Shiny like One of One, One and One era, in that it's kind of watery, and for the chorus everything really drops out and there's just this little plink 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 while they like, I don't know, it just like is such a vibe, and I loved it immediately. So I had to, and like I listened to it so much this year, so I had to put it on the list.
Nice. I didn't listen to this album, so I'm excited to hear more.
Yay.
Okay, my next one is a B-side from Red Velvet's Irene and Solgi. Their debut EP was called Monster, and my pick is Jelly. I love this song. It gives me very sort of old school R&B vibes, and I picked this particular clip comes from like the end of the song, but my favorite part is that part in the end where she goes, "Baby, I'm so jelly." It's so good. It's so good. I love the way this song like devolves into just riffs over riffs. And it's like got such a great beat, and I really loved, like, this is a good example of an EP that I'm really glad I checked out, even though I didn't like the title track, because I didn't like Monster, and I don't really listen to Monster, but all of the rest of this EP and Naughty, the follow-up, perfect music.
Love it. Okay, my next one is GOT7 off the album Die, Love You Better. And I think that honestly, I'm not alone in this. I have seen many Agase saying the same thing, but like, neither of GOT7's title tracks lived up to their B-sides this year. Like, truly both albums, the song they picked to be the title, I feel like was the wrong choice.
I agree.
But this song, I love it. The first time I heard it, it like seized my heart, like Jackson singing, and like, it's such a good song. It has like such good like it just makes you feel things. And I feel that GOT7 wants to love me better.
And I feel it too. Oh, GOT7. Yeah, you putting this on your list I took GOT7 off of mine because I was like, well, okay, at least they're like represented. I had Poison on one of my original lists. Because yeah, their title tracks this year, like, who's picking these title tracks? JYP.
Yeah.
Get somebody else. We need someone else's opinion. Whatever. Where's Sunmi? Oh, she doesn't work anymore. Never mind. All right. My next pick is On and Off, Belle Epic. This is off of the On and Off album that had Sukhumvit Swimming on it. Off the top of my head, I don't remember what it's called, but I will.
I think it's called New World, or it's got World in it.
It's called Spin Off.
Spin Off. Dang it.
Yeah. Oh, but there's a song on it, New World parentheses spin-off version.
Okay, that's what I was thinking of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Belle Epic is so pretty. It's just like a sort of plinky, plunky, like pretty song. And then Wyatt's voice like drops into it and it tickles me. I liked this album a lot. I thought it was really fun, and I didn't really know anything about On and Off except for what you had shown me from Road to Kingdom. And I loved Sukhumvit Swimming, and then this song I think is like my second favorite off of that album.
Yeah, I would say that On and Off album, if we were doing like full album awards, and maybe we could talk about it at some point, like what were the best whole albums of the year, I really do think this On and Off album was pretty great as a whole album.
Me too, I agree. What's yours next pick?
My next pick is G-Friend off of the first of the 3 albums they did this year, Labyrinth. And the song is Here We Are.
Here we are.
And I think this has just become a tradition for me at this point to like pick a weird G-Friend B-side, because I'm just such a vocal stan and I love G-Friend's voices. And whenever there's like a B-side that I feel like captures their vocal skill the way that I want it to, I just like latch onto it so hard. So like, I don't know, I feel like this song isn't like super special or anything, but they just sing so good. And there's like a little bit of drama in it. It kind of reminds you of like those kinds of Taeyeon songs where she's like standing on a cliff and the wind is blowing. It's like kind of one of those like epic.
I know, I can hear it already.
Songs.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I also had a G-Friend B-side on my initial list. I loved off of the Song of the Sirens album that had Apple, Creme Brulee. That I really liked that song as well. But I tried to make it 5 boys and 5 girls on my list, and while you were thinking, I just thought of a song that isn't on either of our lists, but maybe it has to be. Neither of us picked Weki Miki Moya Moya. And I fucking love that song. And I think that we have to correct that. So maybe let's have I'm just throwing it out there right now. This is an honorary 21st pick. The 0 pick. Whatever, yes. Right? Like this is the origin of the graph, I suppose. It just had to be there. Wiki Miki Moya Moya. It's off of the EP that had Oopsie on it.
Yes, and it has excellent choreo. There's a dance practice for it. I just love watching Wiki Miki move, and even when they're doing like their cutesy girl dances, they just nail them so hard. And this song is just joy. Talk about forced joy. Moya Moya is a forced joy song.
Forced joy, and it is very cutesy, but there are no or very little vocal effects on any of the girls' voices, and they sing still so clearly. They're not doing like a baby voice. It just like is a cutesy song, and their vocals are so fucking good. They're so good. The like riffs and the high notes, the whistle notes in Moya Moya are what made me love it.
It's also got some very fun cheerleader screams that are fun to do in the car. Like, I don't know. And like, yay!
You know, I'm really into you. I love it. I love that song.
Great. Honorary pick. I love it.
Yes, honorary pick that had to be mentioned. Okay.
You're on number 4, and this is your struggle. So explain yourself, and then I have a coin. I have a 10 won. Right.
Okay. So appropriate. Okay, I'll explain myself first. So the fourth on my list are 2 Twice songs. Make Me Go, which is from the More and More album, and then Handle It, which is from the Eyes Wide Open album. And I can't decide which one should be on the list because I really liked both of these albums. Like, we've said it 1,000 times, but Grown Twice is a phenomenon and I'm fully immersed in it. But these two albums were very different. Like, More and More is summery and fun, and Make Me Go is sexy and like such a bop with like an intense bass line. And then Eyes Wide Open is like a little more mature and like a little more serious. And Handle It is, to me, like devastating. It is heartbreaking and soft and beautiful. And they're so different. How can I choose? So flip a coin in order to decide which clip gets played, because I just talked about both of them.
Okay. So to make the official choice, I'm going to Make Me Go as this palace side, and Handle It will be the sheep side. And I'm going to flip it now. Here we go.
Here we go.
Handle It wins.
All right. Prepare to be devastated, y'all. Handle It.
멀어지지만 내게서 baby come here quick You shoot down call it quits Cause I can't handle it 기억의 스티커처럼 떼어내버려도 자국이 남아서 더 보여
Love it. All right, cool. That was your fourth pick. My fourth pick. This was one... Okay, I'll talk about it in a second. But what I went with is SF9's Am I the Only One? And this, I feel like, was really, it's similar to your Twice dilemma. I loved this SF9 album so much.
This is off of the Good Guy album, right?
Yes, that came out in January.
Yeah,
so it was like very part of my year, and it has so many good songs on it. They're all very different. Like, I can't quite figure out what SF9's deal is, and I don't know if they can either. So it's like a very different album, but I love all of it. So I was really torn between this song and another one called Fire, because I think they're both just like really interesting songs. They go really hard. But again, I chose Am I the Only One for similar reasons as Ooh-Ah, which is just like passionate singing. Like the way that they sing that chorus before they're like, am I the only one? Like, I believe they're struggling because this girl is not, she is dating multiple guys and it is killing them. It's killing them.
SF9.
But yeah, I just love an intense like vocal, but it's also like really funky too. Like, it's heartbreaking, but you can like shake your booty to it. So
what a great combination.
I
know. Speaking of something you can shake your booty to, that is very funky, my next pick is Max Changmin, Piano. This was off of his debut album or debut EP Chocolate, which came out early this year. And the whole album is great. We've talked about it before. We'll probably continue to talk about it all throughout these episodes because it's a great, beautiful, wonderful album. And this song is so funky, so sexy, and the very end of it, the clip I picked is like from the end, so I would have please play to the very end because every single time this song ends, and I have listened to this song, guys, thousands of times by now. Every time it ends, I go, "Ooh, Changmin."
Silence.
So it had to be on the list.
That's wonderful. Yeah, this album is great. I still, like, in case anybody else, like, hadn't noticed this, for some reason, this album went gray on Spotify, like in the summer, and it's never been fixed. And I see Cassiopeia's like tweeting at SM like every day, like, please figure this out and get it back. But I don't know what happened. So if you're like looking for the Jungmin album, I guess like try Pandora or something. But like, I don't know. Spotify lost it for some reason.
I do think the whole album is on YouTube, and it is just an EP. So like, if you just want to have it, it's definitely less than $10. And it's like 6 songs, and I liked all of them. But you can listen to it. I think the whole thing's on YouTube. But yeah, I don't know why it just like disappeared, and it wasn't on, and it was already hard to find because it's under Max and not Changmin. And there's like another Western singer named Max. I think he's British or something. And when I remember first looking for it and being like, what the fuck? And now it's gone. So anyway, check it out. Max.
Check it out. It's worth the effort to find it is the point. Okay, my number 5 pick is from A-Pink's album Look. And the B-side I chose is Yummy. I want it bad, sweet honey, yeah. This album had a couple of unit songs. We talked about it when it came out. This wasn't one of them, so they didn't perform it, but it was like an immediate favorite, like immediate. It's one of those songs that starts like with a chorus instead of, so like it just like kicks off immediately, this like bow, and like I don't know, it's like cheeky and it's like pretty sensual, and like, you know, like they're being very like, come eat me up, boy, yummy yummy.
Ooh.
But the interesting thing about this is that A-Pink said on a show this year that they actually recorded this song in 2015. They recorded it 5 years ago. But people were thinking that maybe because Hayoung was underage that they didn't put it out because it's pretty sexy. But like, I don't know. I love it. And to think that it's just that they've been sitting on it all this time is crazy to me. What else do you have in your vault, plan A? Like,
that's very intriguing. Ooh, I would love to know more about that. We'll have to keep that in mind for some.
Yeah, that's also, I want to, and I would love to find more stories about stuff like that. Like songs that almost didn't make it on albums, or songs that got held for a long time. Like, ooh, that's so interesting.
Yeah. Or like how on Taemin's, one of Taemin's Never Gonna Dance Again, Pansy was originally supposed to be an Onu song, I think.
Right. And like Highway to Heaven is like a shiny song.
Was a shiny song.
We know all these things, these stories. We'll compile these stories maybe for an episode someday. Yeah. But anyway, A-Pink Yummy is my 5th choice.
Love it. Well, speaking of both sensual ladies and eating people up, my next choice is Boa. As soon as you said eat me up, I thought I'll eat you up. This is actually a Q4 release, so it like wormed its way into my heart quickly because I fucking love Boa, and all of her albums are great, especially the like most recent 3 that she's come out with. Those are my favorites. So this is off of her album Better, which like just came out a couple weeks ago, and it's Temptations. Why you waiting? 이 순간 솔직해도 돼. I got everything you ever wanted. Don't be shy, 좀 더 과감해도 돼. 말하지 않는 너를 보니, yeah, I want it, yeah. This song, like I said, this whole album is really good, but I picked this song in particular because I think it's really different. It is very sexy, but I love the way that like the beat is so dramatic. Like when the beat comes in, it's like it hits so hard. And then the chorus, she like does this crazy the like main line of the chorus of the like given to your temptations is like big and grand, and then it falls into this and it's so cool. I just like love the vibe of it. I feel like I can see the movement of the song. I don't know how to like describe that, but it's like the chorus goes in this like big arc and then it like tumbles down these stairs, and it's like so fucking cool. I love Boa, and I love this song.
Happy 20th anniversary to Boa.
Happy 20th anniversary to Boa. and happy gift to us all.
Yes.
That is Boa.
Love it. Love it. All right. My next one, I've also mentioned on the show, but I'm like buzzing right now because I get to play it and everyone else will hear it. But off of semicolon 17's Ah Love. This is a unit song that is Coops and Josh and Jonghan.
It's the Hyung line.
Okay, well, it's beautiful. And like I said on the show when I brought it up the first time, it reminds me of like a Christopher Cross song. And Christopher Cross was like this 80s yacht rock guy. Anyway, it's a whole vibe. And this song is a whole vibe. And I just like truly love it. I truly love it, especially in the chorus is when the little like like lines up perfectly with like Jonghan's voice on the like na 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 na. Like, oh my god, I just love it. This song just makes me feel good and happy, and it also is fun to scream the like ohs.
Yes, and the I love me. I love it. Yeah, such a good song.
Yeah, so this was my surprise favorite off of Semicolon because nothing against those boys. I love them all very much, but like none of them are in my like fave list. So yeah. I didn't expect that to be the fave, but it was.
Nice. I love it. I already talked about my favorite B-side off of that album, and I didn't put it on this list, mostly just because I saw that you had a semicolon song on yours. So I was like, I'll allow that to represent both of us.
Great.
Okay, I'm on to my seventh pick now.
Yes.
My seventh pick, they had to be on here because I fell for them and I've talked about them now in almost every episode. I gotta keep it up. Every episode deserves a mention of Ace. My B-side off of their, I have to look up the title of this album. Hold on. HJZM: The Butterfly Fantasy is Baby Tonight. This was the B-side that they performed along with Goblin Favorite Boys, and I loved it immediately. Like, there are stages of it. I think there's a dance practice too. It's very different from Goblin, but it like perfectly fits their voices. It's like smooth and sexy, and it's just right up my alley. This is what I want from boy bands. It's like sexy choreo and smooth vocals and pretty harmonies and just 5 boys singing about how they want to love you. That's what we want.
That's what we want. That's all any of us want. Oh, Ace.
Oh, Ace.
Oh, Ace. All right. My number 7 choice. These last couple, this is hard. This was so hard for me, guys. This was so hard for me. But the TXT Blue Hour album, I liked way better than the Can You See Me album. Can You See Me had Fairy of Shampoo, which would be my like second TXT B-side. But I liked Blue Hour as an album way better. I think it had a better, like a more cohesive vibe. And that vibe is like driving fast. Like that's the vibe of the whole album. And this Ghosting starts off the album. The first time I heard it, I was like, oh, this song like sounds like either freedom or running away from something. Like it has that like kind of, there's like a sadness about it, but there's also like a hopeful freedom, which I feel like is TXT's whole thing. Is like we're youths and like looking scared, but like the future might be okay. And this song just makes me feel a million things. And on my drive to Texas, I did get to drive through the desert at 90 miles an hour in the middle of the night with this song blasting. And God, I recommend it. If you ever get a chance to do that, like, that's what this song was made for. It's just flying through the dark.
Yeah, that's what this whole album is made for sure. For sure. All right, my next pick, number 8, coming to the end now. My next pick is off of Hotfelt's album 1719, and it's Cigar. I think she did make a music video for this one. She made a music video for like 4 of the songs off of this album. Yeah. But she didn't really promote in like the traditional. I don't remember seeing a lot of like music show performances of anything off of this album. So I'm choosing to count this as a B-side, even though technically it did have a music video. I love this song. This whole album is really good. We've talked about it a couple of times. It's a very, very specific mood and vibe, and that's like different from most K-pop that I have ever heard. But I really liked it. It's like kind of melancholy, and it fit the beginning of this pandemic perfectly. And Cigar is just like a really beautiful song. I picked the clip is like toward the end of the song because her voice is so beautiful, and she like really just sort of floats through all of these high notes in this way that like tears your heart out. So so if you're feeling a little blue, Hotfelt, or a little blue / righteously pissed,
the righteously pissed for sure.
Is good. Yeah. I mean, the Life Sucks is like such a great fucking song. That I think is like one of the main titles, so I didn't pick that one. But that song's almost all in English, and it's really, really good and biting. We talked about this, like Fiona Apple, like early Alanis Morissette vibes.
Yeah, she's awesome. Great. Okay, my number 8 pick. Really glad that we got to go to 10 because this was the one where I was like, if it can't be on, like, this was hard.
No, this song had to be on it.
But it had to be on it. From Fatal Love, Monsta X. Sorry, I'm not sorry. 붕 기분에 취해 여기저기 걷다가 금방 초라해진 네 모습이 내 눈앞에 너무 선명해. This song is so good. It like almost doesn't belong on this album in that it doesn't go, but I don't even care.
It fits All About Love way better.
Yes, it does fit All About Love better, and I'm kind of surprised that it wasn't like an English song. Because it follows the format of all the All About Loves, and like it doesn't have a bridge either, and it just kind of like is. But anyway, point is, this is my Monsta X sitting on stools and singing to me, and I love, like, I feel so like, I don't know if vindicated is the wrong word, but like, or I'm happy to have been wrong. Validated or happy to be wrong.
Oh, happy to be wrong.
About, because like when we did our second Biases episode last year, and I was like, can't sing, like, or he did like, but he does now, and he sings very well, and he sings so confidently that he starts this song.
Yeah, he does. He sure does.
He starts it. And I think the clip I pulled is the like second Jew Honey verse where he like does little oh my god. I love it. This song is so great. And I started picking up the ukulele so that I can cover this song.
I love that. This song instantly like got under my skin. Like when I first heard this album, I couldn't get it out of my head or my like heart because it is so soft and like kind of sad and heart-wrenching, but also like cold as fuck. Like the chorus of it is literally, I never want to see you again. Sorry, I'm not sorry. I never want to see you again. And like, I was just so like, the juxtaposition of those like objectively cruel words and the like sad melancholy of the rest, soft melancholy of the rest of the song was like so interesting to me. And it did really strike me as an all about love song. So I spent like several days, like a whole week translating and workshopping an English version of it. So when you finish learning the ukulele, let me know and we can do an English version and send it to Monsta X if you're listening. We have an English version prepared for you. Because I know somebody's out there listening. So
Honey is a good YouTube watcher. I know that he like watches people reacting to his content, so we'll get their attention. It'll be fine.
Love it.
But yeah, same thing. This song, though, like the getting into you part of this song, like in a way that I feel like I haven't done since I was like very young. I literally listened to this song on repeat for a couple of hours, like just over and over. Don't even get sick of it. Like, this is just what I want to hear.
Yeah.
And that's magical.
I listened to this song so much that I was worried that my neighbors were going to get sick of it. I wasn't sick of it, but I was like, I think I need to listen to something else because even if I have it in headphones, I'm still singing it and my walls are so thin. So anyway, great song. Monsta X. Sorry, I'm not sorry. All right. This is a good transition as far as like speaking of things that get the fuck under your skin. Yeah. I would say that description applies to this entire release. But my number 9 pick, although they're in no particular order, is off of Kai's debut mini album, Kai. Nothing on Me. I want nothing on me but you. I want nothing on me but you. It was difficult to pick a B-side off of this album because this whole album is really good, I think. And each B-side is like a very distinct, I think, facet of like Kai's personality and like style as an artist or whatever.
Yeah.
Each one like tells a different story and has a different vibe and a different style. But they're all very Kai and he pulls them all off, of course. But I ended up picking Nothing on Me because this was the one that in the video like preview or whatever of the art film. Yeah, the art film that he made. This was the most striking set piece to me because this is the one where he is wearing like a corset and at first he's in the desert with the woman in the mirror and then he is dancing. He's in the middle of all of the like women on the ground with the legs in the air and it's dramatic as fuck and it's so awesome. It is like it makes my like performance art, contemporary dance, like K-pop heart absolutely explode because it's just like high drama, high fashion. And the song is very like, I feel like the song has a low center of gravity.
It's like crunchy and it's like on the ground.
And I just, I got like a frog in my throat.
Oh no.
Because I'm so excited. I just love it. He chokes me up, literally. I'm literally choking up, you guys. Kai.
And to piggyback off of this, because we did a cool thing with our lists by accident here, and that my number 9 choice is also a Kai choice. So we're just gonna keep it rolling. Yeah. And speaking of emotional, the song that just makes me cry for reasons I truly can't tell you. Ride or Die. Baby, I like it. This is the song that comes last in the art film.
Yeah.
And Kai is like in the middle and there's like a spotlight thing, but just something about just musically, like visuals aside, which really just throw it over the top, just like musically, something about his voice in that baby I like it, ooh, like it just like I get full body chills and like tears in my eyes, and I don't know why it makes me want to cry. But listening to the album all the way through, once I got to Ride or Die, I just cried through Hello Stranger to the end. Something about it just like hits a real like emotional point that I can't explain.
Yeah, I totally get what you mean though. Like, speaking of, it's one of those songs that I think like gets under your skin because it has this like, I don't know, there's this sort of like 80s synth quality to it that makes me like think of Neon Lights in a way, but it has like this empty like echo to it. I don't know, it just seems like it has this like loneliness that like clings to it, and I don't know, it's so devastating. I don't know how, that's like I'm in a very poetic mood today, I guess. I keep describing these songs like so grandly, but I don't know how else to describe it. Yeah, it's what they deserve. It's what Kai deserves. The grand.
And yeah, just a question, like it technically came in as a Patreon question, but also people are doing it. There's a current mini song challenge happening on the Discord right now where people are answering 5 questions about 2020 songs, and one of them is if there's like a song that you wish had gotten a music video. And I feel like Ride or Die is my choice only because even when Kai does stages of it, they only do the short version from the art film. So I just want it full. Like, my dream is to just have any kind of full performance of that song.
I totally agree, and I would honestly apply that to the whole fucking album.
The whole thing.
Because they spent so much beautiful time and effort and money doing this like gorgeous art film, and so I can only assume that there's a full version of each one of those songs. Like, why would you put so much money into just doing like a minute of each song? Like, what the F? I was expecting a full Lemonade extravaganza, like,
because they did it.
They did it. Give it to me.
Like, is it Amnesia where there's literally a whole crowd of people in a restaurant? Like,
no, that's Reason.
In Reason,
there's a whole crowd of people.
That was a whole day. You tell me you didn't do the whole song? Come on.
Yeah, I don't believe you. And like some of those, even just minute and a half, like I think Reason has more than one set to it. But whatever. Just give me the whole thing, SM.
SM, just give it to us. If it's a DVD, I'll buy it.
I'll buy it. Just give it to me. All right. My very last pick. We also picked the same artist for our last pick.
Double.
And I didn't change it because I thought that was cute. So my next pick off of Dawn's debut album is Tantara.
Looking like that, looking like that. Looking like that, looking like that.
That is exactly why I picked this song, because the horns in it at the very beginning like caught me right away, and then it like starts to build in this, I would say, it starts to build in a way that like a lot of K-pop songs build.
It's a very K-pop-y build.
Yeah,
I totally know what you mean.
And then it drops out into his little whisper, and the fucking harmonica. I didn't see it coming, and I was washing my dishes listening to this album the whole time, and I dropped my dishes and went, harmonica, and I like loved it. Instant love. I was like, this song slaps. I'm into this. I'm into it. Dawn, Tantara.
Okay. And so to piggyback off of that one, my choice off of the same album for my Dawn song is still featuring Crush. 너는 내가 바보처럼 가만히 있길 바라지 그건 I picked this one because this was like a sneaky way to put my boy Crush on the list.
I was literally just gonna say your boy Crush.
It's my boy Crush. Like I am a Crush stan, and I didn't realize that I was until this year. And like every little Spotify like doodad that tells you about like I listen to a lot of Crush. Okay, so yeah, so he features on this song, and it's just like I love when my Donnie sings, and like this song is a more singy song, and just yeah, I don't know, I like the like gentle vibe of like a I had a fight with my girlfriend song, because it's not all the way sad. It's just that little melancholy like I fucked up, man, but I love you. Yeah. And yeah, Crush's verse is great, and I don't know, I just loved this one. I loved the whole album, but I had to make a pick, and so my pick was Still.
I love it. Great choice. Is there anything, because that's it, right? Those are our top 10. And it didn't take us that long to get through it. So that means next year we can definitely do a top 15.
I think it does mean that.
Is there anything that was on your original list that you didn't mention, would like to give like a little shout out to?
Yeah, I do have something. Something that's very weighing on my mind. Especially when you... No, because especially what you said about Ace. I feel guilty that there are no boys on this playlist.
I am surprised.
Because the boys were such an important part of my 2020, but because I was getting to know them for the first time, I feel like a lot of my greatest boys experiences this year were from songs of past. I loved the albums this year, but like, I don't know, I feel like I could talk about Right Here for a lot, but that was 2 years ago. So like, I can't talk about Right Here.
And exactly in that fact, like my number one song of 2020 was Ace Take Me Higher, but that song is from 2018.
Yeah, so it's weird, but I think if I could have put a boys B-side from this year on here, I think I would have chosen Salty, because I feel like that is it's kind of
Is that off of Steeler?
No, it was off of Reveal.
Okay.
So earlier in the year. And I think that song's kind of controversial because it's very, very odd. It's definitely a Frankenstein-y song, but it again reminds me of that One of One period Shiny, where the music was kind of weird, but in a like understated, strange synthy way. And Salty is definitely a song like that, because I said it was one of my favorites early in the year, and people on the Discord and the boys channel were like, "Ugh, no one likes that song. That song's weird." But I love it.
Oh, that's funny.
So I think if I had another slot, I would definitely want Boys Salty on here. But I don't know. I don't know if there's any. I mean, yeah, just like more like there's so much boys that I listened to. But I'll find a way. I'll find a way to get them into the awards otherwise, because they're important to me.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that you'll be able to find a way. I mean, if Steeler doesn't make it into our like top 15, then one of our awards could easily, like the boys could fit into almost any of our categories.
Yeah, we'll find a place for them.
Yeah. The only thing off of my list that I feel like I haven't even mentioned was I mean, Sorry I'm Not Sorry is my favorite B-side off of that Fatal Love album, but I would say a close runner-up, because I did like a lot off of that album, was Love Carnival. I really liked that song.
Is that the one that let me check. I think that Love Carnival was written by those guys who wrote like Sweet Lies and like all our favorite EXO songs.
Oh, really? Okay, that would make sense.
Let me check. There was definitely something on that album that was written by those dudes. Who will give me credits? Yes! LDN Noise. They make like all the like sexiest EXO songs, and they wrote this too.
So. Nice. I really liked this song. There's a wait. I have to like. I'm trying to remember now. Like, oh yeah. I remember why I really liked this song. I.M sings a lot in it, and his verses are some of my favorites. Like it's a like sort of softer song, and then it has this kind of silly like bouncy like chorus to it, but it is very sexy, and they sing. They have like a real like low softness in their voices when they sing it, which Monsta X doesn't always have, and is always delightful when they do.
It is delightful.
So yeah, those are our favorite B-sides of 2020. What were your favorite B-sides?
Yeah, I'd be curious to know, and I hope that there was overlap because obviously we made good choices. So I hope that these were some of y'all's favorite B-sides too. But yeah, if there's like a B-side that you think we would love based on all of these very poetic descriptions we made, if there's something you think we missed, do hit us up with that.
Yes, please do, especially because like, I mean, I only am working off of like the albums I actually listened to, right? But as we have already learned, a fuck ton of shit came out this year, and I listened to a very small percentage of it. So so now you have a small smattering of our tastes. If you didn't already, let us know if there's something we need to know.
Love it. And with that, we'll be right back with a random game. All right, we're back. And we got a boy group that we are not familiar with as a group, but we know some of their members.
We sure do. We got UNB, which is the group that was formed from the boy version of The Unit. The Unit was a KBS, or is, I guess, because it could probably keep going and do new seasons, KBS reality show that they did do a girl group. And then I think second season was, I think the boy group came after the girl group, but don't quote me on that. Anyway, this is I think 7-member, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, nope, 9-member 9-member group, and they, I think, like the Produce 101s, are just a 1-year temporary contract group, because some of the members are from groups that have previously disbanded, and some of them are from groups that are just not very well known, but they are still contracted under another company. So they debuted and then disbanded within a year.
Yes, but the members of UNB were Eugene from Big Flow, Field Dog from Big Star, Daewon from Madtown, Marco from Hot Blooded Youth, Go Hojung from Hot Shot, Ji Hansol from New Kid, June from UKISS, Chan from Ace, and Ki Jung from a group called I.M, I guess. Yeah,
I guess so.
That was the only one on the list that I was like, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know what that is either. But they debuted on, I don't think I said the day, but April 7th, 2018. And then they ended in January of 2019. But they put out 2 EPs and a live album as well. And the first EP did pretty well. It went to number 2. And then and even the live album like charted in the top 10. So they were pretty popular. They're no longer together, but hopefully the boys can take that popularity on with them, which is the point, I think.
That was the intention, I believe. Yeah. Yes. Cool. So we are going to watch the music video for their single Only One, which I think was their second single off of the album Boyhood. But it has the most views.
Yeah.
At 6.7 million.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
A boy
so
kneeling
dramatic.
in a field.
Sad boy in the middle of a sad field. I don't need the captions. Oh, sitting in a chair. Thought he was on the ground. Maybe that's a different boy. Is there any music happening?
It's really far away. I can't tell.
Any music.
It's very quiet, if there is.
Oh, he's holding a little bird. Is that a seagull? Like a baby seagull?
It's a dove. Oh, fly away.
Okay, we're letting the bird go. Oh, this boy is in a different field. He's on the beach. He's not in a field at all. Okay, now the song is kind of coming in, I think. No, I'm hearing things, I guess. Is it silent?
No, I can't
Why
tell.
is it silent?
I truly can't tell.
No, he's singing. Why can't I hear him singing?
Is this music video like broken? Because I don't hear it either.
You don't hear it
This
either.
It's making me feel crazy.
It's so quiet. It's like, do we need to find a different version of this music? I can kind of hear it now. This is fucking weird. I think we need to find a different. I paused it. I paused it.
Yo, what's their other music video? That was
What's
wild.
happening?
And it's 7 minutes long.
7 minutes. Okay, we're picking their next. Let's pick Feeling. It's their next most watched.
God damn it, UNB.
All right, here we go. Okay, should we start it from the beginning? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So now we're going with UNB Feeling, because it has a little more sound and is not 7 minutes long, but it's still 5. So here we go.
So here we go.
2, 3. All right, lots of screens inside. Ooh, wobbly hallway. Very bright green. Oh, another field. Okay.
There's like someone's reading like a poem. Like, let's never let go of our hands. Your warm embrace is like a warm spring.
Okay, holding some colored fog. We're getting just a lot of dramatic
lightning.
boy shots. Oh, creepy lab where we're sleeping.
Yeah, why are they laying on those weird beds?
I don't know. I'll catch you. Okay, some nice piano. Ooh, pretty.
Oh, do I know this song?
I don't know, but I like this
Feels
choreo
familiar.
already.
All white Lukes.
Yeah. Chan, look how pretty you are.
That's a very Baekhyun haircut with the little
Yeah.
cowlicks he had going right there.
And with the choker.
Okay, now they're in like a wheat field, but everything's been painted. So like the sky is purple and the wheat is red.
Yeah. Kind of Lisa Frank universe. Oh no,
Oh,
boy in a box. I always
There
think
was
it's
also
so-
like a foot of yellow water in the box. That was pretty
Ew.
gross.
Gross. Chan, you're the only one of these boys that I know.
Oh, I do know.
Oh, there
this
is
song.
water. Ooh, gross.
It's a yucky color.
Yeah. And how long did he have to sit in that? It's like a foot. It's like up to his waist.
It's
Yeesh.
just. Is he gonna get? It's gonna get.
It's getting higher.
Probably.
Oh no. Yeah, I can't tell if I've heard this song or if it just sounds like a pretty standard boy group K-pop
Yeah,
song.
right? I'm feeling the exact same thing. Like, do I know this song or do I think I know this song?
Yeah.
But if it's 2018, like, it was from like 2017 on that I tried
That's
to
true.
listen to like everything.
Yeah.
So there's a chance that this ended up on a playlist because they
Yeah.
existed. But I don't
Ooh.
know. Oh, his hand just
Galaxy
turned into a
hand.
universe.
French subtitles.
Any understanding that was not preceded by a feeling is useless to me.
Oh, I was gonna be like, tout connaissant.
Look at the night
Regale-soi.
as if the day
Comme
were
si
to
les
die
jeux.
in it.
I never took French.
Comme si touche. I failed French 3 times in college.
That's my
Professor
French.
told me to stop.
Ah, tout est jour.
Oh,
Which is really just an impression of that chef from The Little Mermaid.
yes. Les poissons, poissons.
I'm really upset that he just has to sit in that water the whole
I
time.
know, it's really gross.
Why did they make it that color?
Because,
Makes
yeah,
it
it
look
looks
rusty.
like pee.
Yeah.
Like rusty pee.
Someone isn't very hydrated.
Yeah.
So
Ooh,
dramatic.
I like that. Oh, now someone's sitting next to him in the box. He's not alone.
And not helping him out of the box. There was some I think it was a Q4 boy group that had the boy in the box music video. Oh, it was the one, whichever the one where they were like art pieces.
It was the second and hyphen video, I think.
Yes, but they had all of the boys in one
in
box.
the same box.
And I kept laughing because I was like, how much do you want to bet that one of them like farted while they were in the box? And they're just like stuck in the box. There were so many of them. They were so smushed in there.
That does seem like something that boys would do.
Yeah. This choreo is fun.
Yeah, I love a like, it's very break
the little
dancey
isolation
to push your own body around.
Yeah. I wonder which one is the Mad Town. I remember the Mad Towns being hot.
Yeah, there were hot Mad Towns. I remember that too. All right.
Well, alrighty. UNB. Feeling.
Well, at least we know that we got Chan back in our ace. So I hope that all those other boys found somewhere to be or had a group to go back to.
Yes, I know that there was a hotshot that did a solo something this year. I wonder if it was the same hotshot or if it's a different hotshot, because the only hotshot name I know is Timoteo.
Timoteo. Yeah.
But yeah. So that was that.
All right.
UNB.
UNB. All right. Well, that is it for our first of our 2020 countdown episodes. And as you can tell, because the year is almost over, these will be carrying over into 2021. It's fine.
Yeah, that's
we got nothing
fine.
else to do anyway.
That's
fine. So yeah, I don't have a recommendation for this episode because
this
the
whole episode is filled with
the whole thing is the recommendations. The whole thing is the recommendations.
And honestly, we gave more than 10 because I threw in Moya Moya in the middle, and then we like talked about the others.
21, and we talked about, there was at least 25 songs in this episode
sure,
that you need to listen to. So
yeah. I would say, because this episode comes out on Wednesday, a last ditch final reminder. This month for our Patreon, we're doing an open Q&A. And so anyone can you don't have to be a patron to send us questions, but you do have to be a patron to see the answers. But we're just doing an open Q&A. You can ask us whatever you want. Some people are asking us questions about, some people are asking us personal questions. Some people are asking us about, Western music. Some people are asking specific K-pop questions, of course.
Podcast questions, whatever you want.
Yeah, whatever you want. Just an open Q&A. You can send those. If you're in our Discord, you can put them in the Patreon party channel. You can email them to us, amakpoppod@gmail.com. You can tweet or DM them to us, amakpoppod on Twitter and Instagram. And the link for our Discord is in both of those bios, Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah.
So get those in today,
Linktree.
please. Because the end of the month is upon us already. And so we'll probably record Thursday or Friday. So today is the day. Send them in.
Today's
Hurry.
Yes, please. And also to be sending in the next couple of weeks, if you don't want to ask us questions, but you want to talk about yourself, leave a voicemail. If you have, thoughts about 2020 or predictions for 2021 or just anything you want to say for end of the year, start of new year type times, I'd love to hear those. And I still feel really shy about doing this because I truly don't even know what it is, but there's a fan project happening right now. Because our anniversary is January 16th. The podcast will be 3 years old.
Yay.
So I guess there's something going on. I don't even know what it is to tell you what it is, but you have to join our Discord, and there's a channel called A Likes Only, where you can get information about that. So I don't know what it is, but if you want to go find out, go find out.
Go find out. If you want to leave us a voicemail, what is our number?
It is 181 AMA K-pop 5.
Yeah. And if you want to write to us, send us a letter. You can address it to either the podcast or our names. P.O. Box 26096, Los Angeles, California, 90026.
Woohoo! All right. Well, this was great fun. I love talking about B-sides. I hope that you all love listening to B-sides. And we will be back next week with our annual AMAK Awards, talking about more of our favorite things.
So excited.
All right. Well, we'll see you then.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Jonghyun, you're our inspiration.